AITA for buying a PS5 for my daughter when my ex asked me not to. My ex and I have a 14-year-old daughter together. She also has 2 more kids who are 16M and 11F. We have 5,050 custody. Here is the problem. My daughter loves gaming. She has been begging her mom and I to buy her a PS5. I bought one for her a few weeks ago, but I didn't give it to her right away. I decided to wait until after an important and difficult exam that she had and give it to her as a prize for getting an A+ in that exam, which I knew she would. A few days ago my ex called me and asked me not to buy a PS5 for my daughter as apparently she has been gloating to her siblings and making them jealous because their parents are financially struggling and they can't have as many privileges as my daughter. My ex gave me a long lecture about how she doesn't deserve another privilege because of her behavior. I told her I will consider it, but I didn't promise anything. Well, she got her exam results a couple of days ago and not only she got an A+, she was the only A+ in her grade. I was extremely proud and decided that she deserves getting her new PS5 and gave it to her. Yesterday I took her to her mom's home and a few minutes after I left my ex called screaming at me, asking me why I did it when she specifically asked me not to do it. She thinks I'm a huge asshole for doing this, but I think as her dad, I should be able to decide what my daughter does or does not deserve, and my ex doesn't have the right to tell me what to do. Info. What does gloating and making her siblings jealous mean? Was she actively bragging about it and rubbing it in their faces? Or did she say she was excited she would be getting one sometime soon and the others, or the ex, decided it wasn't fair? Does your daughter often act in a way that makes this believable, or does your ex favor her? A lot of people are jumping right to the 14-year-old being an ah here. But we've all seen or known people who get punished by their parents for accomplishing something their siblings couldn't, or getting something they didn't. Info. Does she use the PS at your home, or did she take it with her? NTA. PS5 needs to stay at your house. Your ex can call the shots in her own home. I would like to know what kind of gloating. Is this I am super excited I'm getting a PS5, or is this the I got a PS5 and you don't? Is it also at her mom's house so she can share? Info. Did you talk to her about her bratty behavior, or do you not care? I think there is healthy middle ground here. You could have bought her the PS5 and had a conversation with her about how you being able to reward her with expensive items doesn't make her achievements any more valid than her half-siblings. That way if she continued being a brat you could have taken the PS5 away for a few weeks as punishment. I get that you want to treat your daughter, but it does sound like you are raising a bit of a bully. And that's not cool. Joint custody doesn't mean that one must or will always agree with your ex on how to parent. Your ex can ask, but cannot control what you do with your money, nor how you choose to reward your daughter. Info. Where does the PS5 live? If the PS5 lives at your house, I'll go with NTA. Unless your behavior threatens your daughter's well-being, your ex has no right to demand that there not be a PS5 in your house. If the PS5 went with your daughter to your ex's house, though, then YTA, and that PS5 is likely going away. Because you have no right to demand that your ex abide by your decision. Info. Why didn't you mention you had already bought one and it's too late? I mean, it is kinda sucky to first tell her you'd consider it and then do differently without even mentioning it. Would have been super easy to give your ex a heads up and your daughter a talk about behavior. NTA. Your ex's situation is not your or your daughter's to manage. You might want to have a chat with her about gloating over her half-siblings though. That's toxic behavior that should be nipped in the bud. YTA. You made a decision for someone else's house that affects their parenting and their family dynamics. That equipment needs to remain at your house. The fact that your ex told you your daughter is behaving badly and you decided to send the PS5 over to her house anyway says everything we need to know about you. Knock it off. Your daughter needs to grow up to be a decent human being. Apologize to the ex. Take back the equipment. And tell your daughter she can have it when her mother reports that her attitude and behavior have consistently improved for a set period of time. Damn. You know exactly what your daughter's currency is to affect change in her behavior. But instead, you use it to stick it to your ex. I'm not convinced you should have 50-50 custody if this is how you co-parent. YTA. Not for buying her a PS5, provided you spoke to her about not gloating to the other kids. But because you brought it to her mother's home, you have the right to decide to buy it for her, but her mother has the right to not allow it at her home. That is quite literally flaunting it in front of her siblings. If it stays at your house NTA. If it goes with her, YTA. What happens at your house is your biz. I guess I'll go against the grain and say YTA. Although you are separated, you can still parent your child together. You could have at least given a heads up to your ex and talked to your daughter first about the concerns. NTA for giving her the actual PS5, but huge YTA for how you handled this. The trust that was left between you and your ex is way less now. I'm a single, solo dad myself. The only reason I would say YTA is because of her behavior towards others. If she didn't act like that, I would 100% be on your side. What she is doing is bullying her siblings. And that shouldn't be tolerated at all. My oldest daughter is a A+ student as well, and I reward her for that also, but if I ever found out she was bullying anyone, not just siblings, she would lose a lot more than just a game console. If you have 50-50 custody, then why didn't you give it to her to have at your house and for OT to stay there? Yes, she did amazingly well and deserves a treat for working so hard. However, you knew this would cause friction in her mom's house. You were specifically asked not to give it to her there, but you still went ahead. Which is why YTA. Her house, her rules. Your house, your rules. You know she wasn't telling her siblings that she can't wait for them to all to play together. Something about this makes me think you did this to wind your ex up, not to congratulate your daughter. Why did you send the PS5 to your ex's house? She asked you not to. Your ex can't tell you not buy something for your child and leave it at your house, but she can sure as heck not allow that item to come over to her house. YTA, you did it so your daughter could gloat to her siblings. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/121lc3h/AITA4buyingapps5 for my daughter when my ex/jdmeva/ UTM source equals share in UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF and UTM content equals 1 and UTM term equals 15 and context equals 3. Y'all have 50-50 custody. Why on earth would you send it back to her mom's? And with the way your daughter's been acting, it sounds like you need to have a stern talk with her. My dude. NTA for buying it. YTA for sending it to ex's house. My ex and I split time, and I always tell my kids, your mom's house. Your mom's rules. My place. My rules. My daughter wanted a drum set for Xmas. Her mom said no. So she asked me and I said yes. It stays at my place. My son wanted an Oculus. Mom said not at her place because he doesn't keep his room clean and spends too much time gaming. So I got it, but it stays at my place and he can't use it during the week. One question. Does the PS5 stay at your house? If it's at your house, the ex has zero say. The child should not have it at her house. As for the gloating, you may want to work on that because your child is an asshole and needs to learn not to be. YTA. Not for getting the PS5 but for your terrible communication. When she asked you not to give her the PS5, you should have said you already bought it and planned to give it to her. You also should have talked to your daughter about her gloating and bragging, and let her know it would be taken away if she acted like that. You are a parent and you do get to make parenting decisions, especially regarding what your daughter does and has when she's with you. But you still have an obligation to at least try to work with your daughter's mom. You're on the same team.
Info: are you keeping the PS5 at your place?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.